Hello, my name's Tom Flint. I'm from the School of Computing at Edinburgh Napier University, and I'm the Public Engagement Lead for the School of Computing. Today, I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about public engagement. So, the first thing is people don't understand, or people ask, why is public engagement important? And I think one of the things to look at is it's really clear when you look at primary, secondary, or further education what its place is and how it helps. It's very easy for public to understand what's going on inside schools and colleges and the education that they're providing to young people. When it comes to higher education, there seems to be some kind of mismatch. People don't really understand, with undergraduate degrees and the way that they're taught and the way that there's an expectation on getting a qualification, we can understand where that confusion is. And when it comes to research degrees, when it comes to research and the creation of new knowledge, it's often quite opaque to the public what's going on inside a university and why people are pursuing this type of work. So for us, looking at public engagement and looking at the public and explaining what's going on in a university is really important to place a value on the university within the community itself and within the world itself, so that people don't feel that universities are some kind of special place where they're not welcome or where they don't understand. So we've really got to think about, firstly, who our public are. And this is an image from the National Centre for Public Engagement. And it really looks at different types of publics. And we can think about publics as a plural rather than as a single. And I'm not going to read through all those. It's up to you to go to the website and have a look at those. But thinking about who your publics might be and where you can get interest from different publics. And here's an example of one of my colleagues, David Brazier, and he started creating workshops that investigate the digital divide and how people do information searching. And now what David can do with these workshops is he can not only put his research out there in the public and into the public, but it can be useful for people who don't have these information skills and they don't have a way of understanding how to use technology in the way that David understands it. David is getting public engagement funding to produce these workshops and to run these workshops. So that's where public engagement can be very useful for actually doing research itself. One of our students, John McGowan, investigated a therapeutic tool for people on the autism spectrum. And this has got a really, really beautiful interface. And what we did was we used public engagement funding to build this table, which was interactive and then displayed the work that he'd been doing. So it's a really good way for the public to understand the work that he's doing. And then once we've shown them this, we can then get into a conversation about how his work and his software works with people on the autism spectrum and the good that he can do through this research. We have used public engagement funding to work on a huge project in a place called Wester Hailes in Edinburgh. So this is actually producing into a PhD. This PhD looks at creative technology practice and its role in creative placemaking. And creative placemaking is a way of involving communities in working on the places in which they live and communicating how they live and improving the area in which they live. It's about a bottom-up rather than a top-down approach to living spaces. And this project was all about digimapping in Wester Hailes. We worked with primary school children to make interactive maps of their areas. These were co-produced and co-created using psychogeography and using interactive touchboards. With the work that we did in Wester Hailes, we then produced a funded UKRI project called the Seven Kingdoms of Wester Hailes, where we're working with the local community to communicate what they hope to see in Wester Hailes and how they want to improve their own futures. So this is a really brief introduction to what public engagement is, what it can be, and also it's just an encouragement to you to look at public engagement funding as a potential way to help you do some of your studies.